My husband and I were reborn in the damp basement we'd just rented after graduation. We both tacitly avoided mentioning our relationship and turned to leave. He went abroad to pursue his career with his childhood sweetheart Emma, while I stayed here continuing my job. 8 years later, he had become a young and promising CEO with a bright future, achieving both fame and fortune. I was still working at the same company. When we met again, he put his arm around the waist of his childhood sweetheart, looked at me, who was covered in mud, with sarcasm in his eyes. "Long time no see. How did you end up looking like a beggar?" I ignored him. Later, when a top-tier industry magnate pulled me into his arms, he panicked. "Rachel, why are you being so ambiguous with another man here?" During the school's anniversary celebration, Alex returned. He had transformed into a successful young CEO and was in the limelight. As I entered the auditorium, my classmates were clustered around him, showering him with flattery. "Alex, you're the most successful one among our classmates right now." "That's right. You're a big boss of a listed company at such a young age." "When we were at school, I always knew you were capable. You finished in 2 days what took us a week." "I heard you established a scholarship for our school. That's amazing." "I should have joined your venture back then." "Alex is not only highly capable but also dashingly handsome." "I heard your current girlfriend is a wealthy socialite beauty. Come on, tell us how you two got together. Share some experience with us." Alex smiled slightly and lowered his head. "It's all fate. Then someone brought me up." "Why did you break up with Rachel back then?" "I remember you two were so affectionate and stuck together every day when we were in college." Alex's brow furrowed and his smile stiffened. "We just weren't suited." Everyone pretended not to notice his reluctance to discuss it and shifted the topic to how well he matched with Emma. After briefly cleaning the mud off myself, I walked in confidently. The class monitor saw me first. "Look, our school beauty Rachel is here. Let's have a chat. How did you get so messy? Did you fall down?" I smiled and exchanged some pleasantries. Turning around, I met Alex's gaze. He narrowed his eyes and looked me up and down, with mockery written all over him. He wore a custom-made suit, and his hairstyle looked freshly done. He looked as noble as a prince. Emma, who dressed in Chanel, was snuggling in his arms. They looked like a perfect couple. In contrast, I still had mud on me, looking quite disheveled. But I didn't care. I nodded at them as a greeting and turned around to chat with other classmates. "Do you remember James?" "Of course. When we were at school, he was the star figure. A handsome guy on the level of a celebrity and also rich. What's more, he was very smart and had always been the top student. He's coming back this time to give a speech as a successful alumnus. I heard that since he took over his family's company, the business has doubled. How impressive. He even donated a lot to our school. The new library was built by his family." They gossiped as I fiddled with my phone. There was still some time before the anniversary celebration started. I had the driver bring me a set of clothes, and I went to change in the bathroom. When I came out, Alex was leaning against the bathroom door frame. I didn't want to interact with him, so I turned to leave. Unexpectedly, he called out to me first. "Are you still working at that same company? After all these years, how come you're doing worse? You couldn't even afford a taxi when you came?" Falling flat outside, how embarrassing. I turned around and faced that familiar face, replying firmly, "That's my business and has nothing to do with you." Alex was so angry that he bared his teeth. "Then you might as well stay in the gutter for the rest of your life." After saying that, he walked away with his neck stiff. But halfway, he turned around again with a smug smile. "Rachel, you're still as stubborn as before. But no matter how you pretend, I know you regret it deeply." Watching his gradually disappearing figure, I recalled the various events in my previous life. In my previous life, I married Alex right after graduation. The early days were relatively happy, but eventually, our relationship was defeated by trivial matters like daily expenses. Before being reborn, we had a huge argument. The reason for the quarrel was that he wanted me to resign and redevelop abroad with him. But I didn't want to give up everything here. Alex smashed everything in our home and shouted wildly, acting like a madman. I rubbed my head. If the two of us go abroad, what about Tommy? What about Mom and Dad? Tommy is our son. My parents passed away early. His parents were old, and since he is an only child, they didn't want us to leave home to struggle abroad. Tommy is still young and cannot be left alone. So after we got married, we returned to our hometown to work. Although the company I work for is not big, it is backed by a large group and the benefits and treatment are good. If I work hard, a promotion and raise are just around the corner. However, to better take care of my family, I dedicated most of my energy to home life. It was indeed very tiring, but for the sake of being with Alex, for the sake of Tommy having a happy childhood, and for the sake of my parents enjoying their twilight years, what does a little hardship count for? Moreover, my in-laws are very nice people, treating me like their own daughter. I cherish this family and everything I currently have. But happy days are short. Ever since Alex visited a college friend's company abroad, he has been thinking about developing his career overseas. He believes that if he starts a business abroad right after graduation, he will definitely do better than that friend and earn more money. But in reality, our current life isn't bad either. Our combined savings are in the 7 figures. We had a decent house in a good school district, 2 cars, and no loans. Yet, he is still not satisfied. Alex's eyes were bloodshot as he stared at me. Don't think you can tie me to your side for the rest of your life. Even though our parents are old, they are healthy and still agile. Sometimes they can help us look after Tommy. We don't need to take care of them. We can take Tommy with us abroad. Even if our parents get sick and need us, we can always fly back at any time. Transportation is so developed now. This idea was still too naive. It's not that easy. In a completely new environment with no one we know. We need to relearn and adapt to the unfamiliar cultural background, the language, and the social relationships. By then, we would be too busy taking care of ourselves to have time to look after our child. It would be even more impossible to fly back at any time, not to mention the cost of plane tickets. Once we started our business there, how could we have so much free time? I patiently tried to persuade him, but as soon as I opened my mouth, he interrupted me. Rachel, I'm asking you one last time. Are you coming with me or not? If you're not going, then we'll get a divorce. I stood there in shock. I never expected that he would want to divorce me over this matter. Alex, why do you have to go abroad? I really couldn't understand. He wore a mocking expression on his face. Do you think we can achieve anything in this shitty place? Even if you don't think about yourself, even if you're just indulging in pleasure here, you should at least think about Tommy. Do you want your son to be like you? To follow other people's orders and be their slave for the rest of his life? I was so angry that I was shaking. Am I working here just for pleasure? Alex, there are opportunities not only abroad, you can succeed here too. Our current life can support Tommy and our parents. Enough. Alex interrupted me. If you don't go, I will. You shouldn't have married me in the first place. People with different aspirations can't work together. You're indulgent, lazy, and have no ambition. How did you become like this? It's okay if there's no progress in your work, but you're also sloppy every day like an old hag. He shouted while packing his luggage. It wasn't the first time I had heard such words before. They were usually said in jest, and I thought he was not good at handling emotions and didn't know how to speak. Now that I thought about it carefully, words that are often on the lips are usually sincere. Perhaps in his heart, I was just an unremarkable old hag. He dragged his suitcase away, and I was worried about his emotional state, so I followed him. I didn't know what was going on ahead. I ended up crashing into a big tree by the roadside, and the car was overturned. I quickly got out to save him. But for some reason, the car door wouldn't open. The explosion was more violent than I had imagined. When I woke up again, we had both been reborn. We tacitly avoided mentioning the engagement. He resolutely set off on a journey to a foreign land, ignoring his parents' objections. Meanwhile, just like in my previous life, I joined that company. Only this time, I could dedicate all my energy to work. Since I had made my choice, I wouldn't regret it. On the way back to the auditorium, my husband called. I just heard from Uncle Mike that you helped a kid get a ball and ended up falling into a puddle yourself. Did you get hurt? Do you need to go to the hospital? His anxious voice came through the phone. His unmistakable concern made me smile. I'm fine, I didn't get hurt, so don't worry. That's good. I had some things to take care of just now. I'll come over after I'm done. All right, don't rush. See you soon. After hanging up, a smile still lingered on my face. Until I heard the class monitor calling my name, saying that the ceremony would start a bit later. She urged me with a smile. Don't just stand here by yourself. Come chat with your classmates. It's been so many years since we've seen each other. As soon as I walked in, Emma was already waiting for me. Before I could say anything, she shoved a wine glass into my hand. Okay, everyone. The crowd gathered around the two of them, all praising the dress Emma was wearing. This dress was bought for me by Alex when we went to the Chanel show. It's said to be high-end custom-made. I took a glance at the dress. There's one just like it in my closet, though the craftsmanship is a bit different. I didn't want to listen to everyone's flattery or her bragging. I was about to leave. Unexpectedly, Emma clung to me like a piece of sticky plaster. She insisted that I say what I thought of the dress and to give my opinion. No one present was stupid. They knew that it was a deliberate attempt to embarrass me. Some people, seeing that I didn't respond, began to follow her lead and also tried to make things difficult for me. Our school beauty hasn't been out in a long time, huh? Scared to death by just a dress and being so timid. Now our school beauty is just a little employee. Maybe she doesn't pay attention to these things normally. Rachel, we women have to be independent and strive for more. It's no good always being laid back. Our peers are driving luxury cars while you're still riding a bike. Our school anniversary is really grand. Anyone can attend. It's so lively. They were taunting me with their words. Emma smiled in satisfaction. All right, I just wanted to invite Rachel to come, that's all. Although she said that, there was a provocation in her gaze. I was too lazy to play their games or say much with them. I walked to the door and checked the message from my husband. He was still concerned about whether I was okay and said he would be there soon. I replied to let him know I was fine and to be careful on his way. It felt really good to be cared for like this. When I returned, Alex showed up. Rachel, I used to think you just looked like an old hag because you were getting older. I didn't expect that after all these years, you've become so petty. You don't even dare to comment on a dress. Are you willing to hide at home for the rest of your life? It turned out he had been hiding aside, enjoying the spectacle. Emma and I are engaged now. We're going to get married soon. After saying that, he adjusted his tie. Tell me, if you had come with me to start a business abroad back then, maybe we would have been married and had kids by now. You would be wearing designer brands and be beautiful and elegant now. What a pity. You're too stubborn. The result of stubbornness is achieving nothing, being looked down upon, being laughed at, and becoming self-abased. I interrupted him casually, saying, "Congratulations to you." Alex's expression stiffened. Congratulations for what? Congratulations on your upcoming marriage. I wish you both happiness and health. Alex was so angry that he was fuming and glaring. I didn't even know why he was angry. He was fuming, staring at me angrily. You better be sincere. Don't be cursing us in your heart. I walked past him and went inside. If it weren't for the fact that I could see my husband give a speech today, I wouldn't have come at all. There were so many troublesome things. I went upstairs to find a quiet room to have some peace. When I returned to the auditorium, everyone was looking at me with strange expressions. I didn't know why, until Emma said, "It's nothing, just a piece of jewelry. If it's lost, it's lost. Don't damage the friendship among classmates." Emma's necklace is missing. She had kept it in her bag, which was on the second floor. The only person who went to the second floor just now was me. Moreover, I had an unpleasant time with Emma earlier because of a dress just now. Everyone assumed that I had stolen Emma's necklace in revenge for her earlier difficulties with me. Only you would be so generous and kind. That's a piece of jewelry worth millions. If it were me, I would definitely find out who took it. Exactly. Some people are poor, but why could they do such sneaky and shameful things? I frowned and said unhappily, "Just say what's on your mind. Don't be mysterious here and play these tricks. Who are you disgusting?" "Oh, you think we're being disgusting? Then don't do those things." A short girl with freckles said sarcastically. I walked straight up to her, maintaining a serious face and looking at her unhappily. She seemed to be scared and took 2 steps back. What's wrong? Did I hit a nerve? Are you going to hit me? Hit you? You think you're worth my time? You. She stammered, pointing her finger at me. I raised my hand and pressed it down. The atmosphere became awkward, and others came out to smooth things over. All right, it's the school anniversary today, and there are so many classmates and professors around. Let's not make it unpleasant. Emma also pretended to say, we're all classmates, let's not make it so ugly. Just let it go. I turned to look at her hypocritical face and couldn't help but roll my eyes. Let it go? No way. We have to get to the bottom of this today. I want to see who wants to put blame on me. It's just a necklace. Does she really think it's some rare treasure? My words provoked Emma. Her expression turned quite ugly. It seems that the jewelry Rachel usually wears starts at millions. I really can't tell. Rachel is so low-key. Others joined in the mockery. Low-key? She's just bragging. Look at the mud all over her. When she first came, she probably fell here. If she's so rich, why couldn't she even bear to take a taxi? Don't say that. Rachel is just doing exercise. She even saved the money for going to the gym with this fall. After that, a group of people burst into laughter. Alex had just returned from outside. What are you laughing at? Everyone's laughter abruptly stopped. Alex looked very dispirited, and those who didn't know thought he had suffered some kind of blow. When he saw Emma, he quickly walked to her side and pulled her into his arms, gently asking what was wrong. Emma nestled into his embrace like a wrong child. She pretended to shake her head, but her expression looked even more pitiful. The others started to fawn over them again. They really are a handsome couple. Alex asked again what had happened. Emma glanced at me and said, my necklace, which I just brought back from the auction, is missing. The only one who went to the 2nd floor just now was Rachel. There's no one else but her. I didn't say much earlier, just said the necklace was lost, but she was being sarcastic. Emma came out of Alex's embrace and shot me a look. She should pay for it. She's been working for so many years, she can't possibly be unable to afford a necklace. In just a few words, this couple had already concluded that I was the thief. Emma, how much is your necklace worth? 30 million. Everyone gasped. It's really expensive. No wonder it was brought back from an auction. It's so expensive. Buying a necklace for 30 million, you two really are extraordinary. The flattery from everyone made Emma and Alex hold their heads even higher. Emma cleared her throat. Actually, this necklace is an antique, and it will only become more valuable over time. But since we're all classmates, it's not good to make it too ugly. Alex watched coldly from the side. Emma began to pretend to be magnanimous again. This amount of money is nothing to us. But for you, it's probably more than you've ever seen in your life. How about this? You apologize to me, be sincere, bow your head in apology, and we'll consider this matter over. You don't even have to pay for it either. I sneered coldly. Just as I was about to retort, I felt someone push me from behind. I lost my balance for a moment and spilled the wine from the table. Coincidentally, the wine splashed all over Emma's dress. Alex immediately helped Emma up. Rachel, what are you doing? Someone shouted from behind, suggesting that I was jealous of Emma, and the topic was brought up just like that. Back then, Rachel and Alex were a couple. Now that Alex has succeeded in his business and is so affectionate with Emma, of course, she's jealous. Now that she sees her ex-boyfriend doing well and having money, she regrets it. Yeah, is Rachel such a person? Her character is really poor. A group of mean people. I was so angry that my temples throbbed. I don't know who pushed me just now. I didn't mean to. Rachel. Alex interrupted me. I know you're not feeling good because I'm about to marry Emma. But it's been so long, it was you back then. Well, it's all in the past. He made me sound like an unfaithful person. Alex frowned and said firmly, Rachel, what we had is already over. There will never be a possibility again. I suppressed my anger and replied, What we had has indeed been over for a long time, and there will be no possibility again. Look, she's still being stubborn. No matter what I said, they didn't believe me. I didn't want to waste time arguing with these fools. Just as I turned to leave, Alex grabbed my arm. Rachel, you haven't apologized to Emma yet. I suppressed my anger, not wanting to make it a public spectacle. I already said, someone pushed me. It wasn't deliberate, and I won't apologize to her. About the necklace, I didn't take it. I will call the police and have them investigate. Emma pretended to act magnanimous. Alex, forget it. Just a necklace. Let her do whatever she wants. The group of mean people began to follow the trend again. Wow, no wonder he's someone who can achieve great things. What a broad mind and demeanor. Look at her and then at Rachel. It's simply not comparable. No wonder some people can't make a name for themselves in a lifetime. Just then, James and the professor walked in together. What are you chatting about here? Mr. James is here. Everyone rushed to James's side, beginning to flatter him. James Group was the top company here. James had built his own success after starting his own business, and later the company merged, expanding James Group's business territory by double. Many people wanted to connect with him. Although Alex had succeeded in his own venture, in front of James Group, it was just a small company. Alex's face turned livid. Just moments ago, he was the center of attention, but now his limelight was stolen. This made Alex, who had a strong sense of vanity, feel very unhappy. People were crowding around James. I struggled to move forward and finally squeezed in. James grabbed my arm and asked what had just happened. Before I could speak, the surrounding people started talking all at once, telling him what had happened just now. After listening, James looked at me. Jealous that they're getting married? I shook my head. Absolutely not. That's just their imagination. I was pushed and accidentally bumped into the red wine. Seeing my serious expression, James laughed. He playfully tapped the tip of my nose. Silly girl, of course, I believe you. By the way, how much is Emma's dress? I'll have my assistant compensate her. Then he leaned in close to my ear and whispered, use my pocket money, and then you can reward me. Seeing how close James and I were, others felt something was off. Alex's expression grew uglier. Emma's smile also looked stiff. Forget it, we're all classmates, if we talked about compensation. I let out a cold snort. Stop saying these high-sounding words. There is no friendship between us. The truth is more important. James nodded behind me, staring at Emma's dress. He then asked me, you have an identical dress in your closet. I nodded. He continued, never mind, we should go back and throw it away. When I ordered it, they told me there was only one in the world. Who knew there would be a fake one so soon? A fake? Everyone caught onto this key word. That can't be true. Emma can buy a 30 million necklace at a whim, so she wouldn't buy a fake dress, right? Yeah, it must be a misunderstanding. My mother-in-law is a fashion designer. When James was little, he would follow his mom to choose fabrics and observe the craftsmanship. He had seen enough different clothes to tell whether it was genuine or fake at a glance. It's not even a high imitation. There's no way to mistake it, it's just fake. Emma's fake smile faltered, and she began to speak sarcastically. Mr. James and Rachel are quite close, huh? James nodded. His face seemed to say, you had finally realized. He made a phone call. Everyone was confused. I estimate that the truth will come out in about 5 minutes. The school's surveillance system was just replaced last month. We can even hear the audio clearly. Looking at James's serious expression, I suddenly felt that today's experience was nothing to worry about. Others couldn't sit still, fearing that they would offend James because of flattering Alex. After all, no matter how capable Alex was, he couldn't compare to James. Emma also panicked. There was an unhideable sense of guilt in her voice. Mr. James, please don't fabricate false evidence to protect Rachel. James replied slowly, I won't forge false evidence. It's you who's wearing a fake dress and seeking compensation. I don't know what you're up to. Emma was left speechless. Alex remained silent, his face cold. The truth soon came out. It turned out that this was orchestrated by Emma herself. She had pressed the necklace under my bag. She told that petite girl to give me a push from behind. Emma, what a pity for your dress. For Rachel, it's not worth it. This is a Chanel high-end custom-made. In the video, Emma's smug expression was about to overflow. It's just a fake. Do you think I would actually spend a fortune on a dress for that little brat? What if someone finds out? Rachel is such an idiot. She's hardly ever traveled far, so what does she know? As for the others, they're just a bunch of sycophants. Stupid and clumsy. I am rich. Even if I put a bag of garbage in front of them, they'd praise it as a high-end product. They think that if they get close to me, I'll help them dream on. The helper quickly nodded, saying Emma was smart. After the video ended, Emma's face was extremely ugly, and she still wanted to argue. But others were no longer accepting it. Look at people who are making a living abroad. They're so scheming. Honestly, Emma looks bad in anything. Who would know this was a counterfeit? Even if it were real, she could make it look fake. You really can't judge a person by their appearance. The heart is truly dark. With every word they spoke, Emma's face darkened further. The atmosphere became extremely awkward. Alex lowered his head, his expression unreadable. The professor stepped in to smooth things over, and only then did this matter come to an end. Everyone started drinking and chatting again, each turning back into decent people once more. Next, let's invite our outstanding alumnus James to speak. I, who hadn't been in high mood before, but suddenly felt lively. My husband was about to give a speech. Towards the end, he mentioned me. My wife, Rachel, is also an outstanding woman. She has made indelible contributions to the development of our company. His words clarified our relationship. Everyone gasped. Rachel is married? Her husband is still James. Rachel is really low-key. She didn't mention it at all just now. Meanwhile, Alex's expression became very strange. His gaze towards me was filled with resentment, as if I had cheated on him. Ignoring the school leaders speaking on stage, he directly stood up and left. Emma followed him out. After the school celebration ended, I was surrounded by layers of people. We knew you were low-key, but I didn't expect you to be this low-key. You and Mr. James really are a handsome couple. Yeah, truly a perfect couple. So, why didn't you invite us to the wedding? We were classmates for 4 years. We should have been there to congratulate you. James was handling work matters on the side. I didn't want to say much to them, so I could only say something brief. We didn't invite outsiders to our wedding when we got married. Sorry, I have other things to be busy with. The hint to leave was quite obvious. The crowd quickly dispersed, feeling disappointed. James had just finished his work. He wrapped his arms around my waist and buried his head in my neck. Let me recharge. I haven't seen my wife for several hours, and I miss you so much. Mom said that when we go home later, I should help her get some fabrics from Aunt Helen. Of course, that's fine. But I still have work to do. Do you want to come to the office with me, or wait for me at home? I smiled. I'll go get the fabrics and then head home. I haven't chosen fabrics with Mom for making clothes in a long time. James's gaze was fixed behind me. Mr. Alex has been watching you, he complained softly. I looked at him and found him adorable. But right now, I can only see you. This line made him really happy. Then give me a kiss. I stood on my toes and kissed his cheek. Then I leaned close and told him, I love you. He left for the office content. I was just about to walk away. Alex called out to me. His eyes were red. Did you really marry James? I nodded, unwilling to say much more. He punched a tree, making a dull sound. I quickly took a few steps back, not wanting to get entangled with this madman. He shouted, Rachel, how dare you marry another man without saying a word? How could you do this to me? His words were inexplicable, as if I had cheated on him. Don't say it like that. Our relationship ended a long time ago. And now you also have your own family. I don't. His voice was choked. We weren't together. This was all an act. I just wanted you to feel jealous and wanted you to say you regretted it. Everything was fake. For 8 years, you haven't cared about me at all. His tone was filled with resentment. I stepped back again, putting distance between us. After being reborn, you threw everything away and went abroad without hesitation. He fell silent. I continued, anyway, we broke up long ago. Whether in the previous life or now, we are strangers. All the past grievances are over. We have no relationship anymore. You achieved your dreams, and I also have my own family. We shouldn't meet again in the future. Hearing me say we shouldn't meet again, he became agitated. Rachel, I went without hesitation just to prove to you that my choice was right. I sighed, feeling helpless. I looked at him with a cold tone. You just wanted to prove that you're doing better than me. If you knew my situation today, you definitely wouldn't show up. You wouldn't come to see me. You just want me to be your little servant, following you around for free. Alex shook his head in denial. Rachel, for the past 8 years, I've thought about you every day. Thought about me? Wanting me to regret it? Then kneeling before you and begging for your pity. He fell silent again. I smiled. Alex, I've never regretted it after we broke up. No matter what, everything is in the past. What has passed? Alex asked me, gripping my arm. What about Tommy? Tommy is our child. You just erased that so easily. Rachel, where's your conscience? If I didn't have a conscience, I wouldn't have saved you back then. I wouldn't have died for you. Actually, when I was just reborn, I felt very upset. We started dating in college and later got married for 10 years. I once loved him sincerely and cherished our home. That's why I risked my life to save him. But later I understand. We are not suitable for each other. Our life pursuits are different. There was no need to force it. We argued a lot over work and trifles. Each time I thought that as long as we adjusted, things would get better sooner or later. But time proved that forcing unsuitable people to be together only hurts each other. The entanglement of love and hate from my past life was suddenly let go at that moment. Alex cried. After knowing him for so long, it was the first time I saw him in tears. Rachel, I really don't understand why you don't want to go abroad with me. You are all alone here, with only Tommy and me as your relatives. What's the point of staying here while we are abroad? I gently shook my head. No. At first, I chose to stay here because of you. Alex is an only child. His parents didn't want him to go too far from home. In order to marry him, I stayed in the city with him. Later, because I cherished our family, his parents treated me like their own daughter. As they grew older, I became worried. I also didn't want Tommy to face so many unknowns at such a young age. Alex stared blankly, as if recalling past events. Alex, did you really leave because you wanted to build a future for Tommy? I don't think so. You should have done it for your ridiculous vanity. Your classmates who once didn't do as well as you became more successful, and you couldn't stand it. Take care of yourself. Do not meet again. I turned to leave. Alex suddenly ran in front of me, blocking my way. Rachel, you're just saying that out of anger. His assertive tone left me quite confused. I know you're still angry about me going abroad, but now that I'm back, don't say such insincere words anymore. Angry words? Insincere words? His statements left me baffled. How did he see through it? I had clearly made it quite clear. He suddenly lifted my wrist. This is what I gave you when we first got together. After all these years, you still wear it and the string has faded. I swatted his hand away, finding it ridiculous. In my previous life, he did give me a bracelet. It was when we visited a temple, and he bought the cheapest red string for me at the entrance. I thought it was a token of his affection, so I wore it for a long time. However, time has changed. This is no longer the one he gave me back then. This one was obtained for me by James. When I was hit by a car, I remained in a coma in the hospital. James, who had never believed in such things before, actually climbed the mountain step by step to get me a talisman for safety. You're overthinking. This is from my husband. I already threw away the one you gave me. I don't believe it, he shouted. You're just trying to anger me. Rachel, just go get a divorce. I don't mind that if you're divorced. Although divorced women are considered less valuable, I don't mind anymore. If you don't want to go abroad with me, I'll stay here for you. Now that I have money, you won't need to work anymore. We can have several children together and live happily. He is still living in the dream he has woven for himself. I felt a headache talking to him. I sighed and said helplessly, I will not get a divorce. You won't get a divorce? I ignored him and quickly left. Fine. Don't regret it, he shouted from behind. The two of them overheard from a classmate. Alex went abroad again. Finally left. His constant pestering here was really annoying. He's gone, but now others are coming to bother me. Ever since the school anniversary, quite a few people have come to ask for my number and wanted to collaborate with me. I had my assistant decline all of them. A bunch of mean people, not suitable for collaboration. Later, on our wedding anniversary, James woke me up early. Wife, get up. I smiled at him. So early? Can't we sleep a bit longer? James smiled mysteriously. No more sleeping. We have something big today. He took me to a restaurant. It turned out he had secretly prepared a surprise for me. From the moment I walked in, with every step I took, someone handed me a gift, and the greeting cards were filled with our happy moments. Looking at James's smug expression, I felt nothing but happiness. I'm really grateful to have found such a wonderful husband in him. When I need comfort, he is by my side. When I need care, he is there to check on me. I once asked him why he chose me to be his wife. He looked into my eyes and said firmly, "Because you are worth it." James said he had known me for a long time, even back when I was working in a restaurant. Do you know why I chose to major in management? Because I wanted to be classmates with you. Because you were there. But later you got together with Alex and I silently wished you well from the sidelines. Luckily, fate had its eyes. You broke up with that jerk. And now I'm finally with you. I looked at his frustrated little expression. Honestly, I feel very lucky to have met him in this lifetime. That day, we admired the city's night view together and spent a wonderful evening. The next day, Alex suddenly appeared at our company's entrance. His eyes were dark, his hair was messy, and he looked very tired. When he saw me approaching, he immediately stood up. You're finally back. Didn't you go abroad? What are you doing here? Alex suddenly looked overjoyed. He must have misunderstood, thinking I was concerned about him, but he overlooked the impatience in my tone. At that moment, his happiness was palpable. I felt helpless. Rachel, I came this time to ask for your forgiveness. I know you must be very angry. You're angry at me for leaving without a word and angry that I brought Emma to act. I know I was wrong, and I even brought an apology gift. Saying this, he pulled out a jewelry box from his pocket. I glanced at it and recognized it as the necklace Emma lost during the school anniversary. Sorry, but if you do this, my husband will misunderstand. I don't want to make my husband unhappy. Rachel. He interrupted me sharply, sounding displeased. I've sold all my overseas properties. I'm back this time so we can live well together. Rachel, don't be so cold to me. It makes me feel terrible. I know it's all my fault. I'm apologizing to you. Will you forgive me? Can you come back to me? He began to repeatedly say sorry and ask me to return to him. His attitude was unprecedentedly humble, but listening to him made my head throb. All of that was in the past. My face turned pale with rage. Alex, I've already made it very clear last time, it's over between us. Whether you can accept this fact or not, there's no possibility anymore. Wife. James approached me with a bouquet of flowers. These are today's roses. I wish you happiness today. Since we got together, he either brings flowers or a small gift every day. I took the gift and hugged him. Alex watched us, his eyes filled with disbelief. He furrowed his brows tightly, staring at me intensely. Hello. Alex replied with a hello and then turned to leave. Am I really that scary? James asked me, looking down. Of course not. I chuckled. What were you two talking about just now? I saw someone apologizing again, bringing gifts and saying they wanted to get back together. He was jealous. I poked his abs. Did you hear my rejection? Rachel, are you here to see me? He walked quickly towards me. Alex was wearing a hospital gown, looking gaunt and frail. He appeared very haggard. But that had nothing to do with me. No, I'm here for a checkup. The light in Alex's eyes dimmed. Then, he eagerly asked me, a checkup? What illness do you have? He then started rambling on his own. However, his words were nonsensical, and I couldn't tell if it was due to his illness. He began to talk about our wedding in the past life. I interrupted him, Alex, Do you even know what you're saying? Alex was taken aback, as if pondering over what I just said. At that moment, James walked over and supported me. Wife, why are you walking so fast? You didn't wait for me. You said you were coming alone. What if you bump into something later? Okay, don't be so nervous. I'm only 2 months along. I need to keep an eye on you like precious jewels. If anything happens to you, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. We chatted and laughed as we walked towards the hospital entrance. Wife, let's change hospitals for our prenatal checkup. Otherwise, I keep seeing your ex-boyfriend here. The emphasized words, ex-boyfriend, told me he was jealous. Although he was jealous, I felt incredibly happy. Suddenly, Alex shouted my name from behind. Rachel. What do I have to do to get you back? I continued walking without looking back. I will never go back to him. All the past is already behind me. The life I have now is what I want, and I feel very happy. So I will cherish the life I have now.